What's up, everybody? Azariel here, and welcome to the first retro modernization of 2015. It's been quite some time since I've done one of these videos because they were on the back burner. A lot of them, didn't uh, happen last year because I just felt like I did as many as I could do, and it just got to the point where I felt like I was forcing the series and that I didn't want to become that, where I felt like I had to just push one out. And anytime I've done a retro modernization, it was because I was passionate about bringing back earlier Yu-Gi-Oh builds or strategies and try to reinvent them for today's era in Yu-Gi-Oh, which for the most part, well for me is a pretty simple task, but overall it does take me about like a good 1 or 2 weeks to complete the builds. And when I had everything else going on in my personal life and you know all other silliness that happened last year, I just didn't have time to just sit down and focus on a retro modernization like I wanted to. But I did announce in my plans for 2015 that I was intending to bring the series back, and this is going to be the first of many retro modernizations that you guys see this year. So with that being said, let me introduce you guys to what I like to call Spell Dragon. It's kind of like a funny name because it's like you can't spell dragon. Like I don't know, like I just feel like some jokes can be made off of that. So I just called the deck Spell Dragon. And what this deck is a reinvention of is Joey Wheeler's Time Wizard and Baby Dragon Thousand Dragon Fusion combo, if you can call it that. But if you can call it a combo, I don't know. But it's basically inspired by those three cards initially. And what the build does is that it's a fusion build, as you guys can see, but it brings in some of those newer. Uh, but I added in some spellcasters, Dark Magician Girl, even a Dark Sage. Have another one in the side deck. Basically, what this build is intention is to do is to either get one of many fusion monsters on the field while still having the support of spellcasters in your back pocket, so to speak. So it's like it's a bit risky, but there's some safe ways to where there's ways to recover from using certain cards in this build. For example, there's Dark Magician Curtain, and you have Try and Guess. But first, without me diving into all that, I haven't done one of these in a while. I don't know my original, method of doing this. I don't remember it by heart, so it's all coming to me little by little. But first, let me tell you what's in the deck, and let me tell you how it operates from there. Okay, so we have 3 Baby Dragons, 3 Dark Magicians, 3 Gemini Elf, 2 Luster Dragons, 2 The Illusionary Gentleman, 2 Dark Magician Girl, 1 Dark Sage, 3 Time Wizard, 2 Dark Magic Attack, 2 Dark Magic Curtain, 3 Magical Dimension, 2 One-Shot Wand, 2 Polymerization, 1 Raigeki, 3 Ayatamias, 2 Dark Renewal, 2 Eternal Soul, 2 Magician Circle, and 2 Try and Guess. In the extra deck, I have 3 Amulet Dragon, 3 Dark Magician Girl, the Dragon Knight, 3 First of the Dragons, 3 Rune Eyes Pendulum Dragons, and 3,000 Dragons. And in the side deck, I have 3 Alexandrite Dragon, 1 Dark Magician Girl, 1 Dark Sage, 1 Lance Force Fornicus. I don't know how to pronounce that. 2 Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragons, 1 Performal Trump Witch, 1 Fusion Substitute, 2,000 Knives, 1 Eternal Soul, and 1 Try and Guess. Now, for the people that are familiar with the retro modernizations, it's the same as they always been. I never use the side deck. The side deck is more so of that if I want to make some changes in the future to the build. The side deck, I put cards in there that kind of reminds me of what gave me an idea or what I had an idea with. So if I was thinking about, okay, like I thought I could do something cool with this card. If I added it into the build, then I just add that into the side deck, or add 1 copy of that into the side deck to remind me. It's just there as a reminder. It's not there to actually get used in like match duels. So that's all that is. So as I was stating earlier, the main focus of the build, or at least the main power from the build comes from you using uh, fusion monsters. And Amulet Dragon and Dark Magician Girl, they are there obviously because Dark Magician Girl and the Dark Magician are in there, as well as the Ayatamias, which acts as a dragon type monster. So really, it allows you to only do like a one monster fusion, because the spell card itself counts itself as a fusion material dragon type monster. So you only need like one Dark Magician in order to get this out. Activate Ayatamias while you control the Dark Magician, and you'll be able to get out Amulet Dragon. Same thing for Dark Magician Girl and Dark Magician Girl, the Dragon Knight. So that's why Ayatamias is in there. Uh, if you guys notice, I have a good handful of normal type monsters in there. And when I think about that, First of Dragons is like the one of the cards that really comes in handy, because not only can you only fusion summon it with two normal monsters, but it can only be destroyed by battle by a normal monster, as well as it's unaffected by other monster effects. So your opponent is going to have somewhat of a time trying to get this thing off the field if they have no back row support or anything like that going on. So it's a pretty good card to keep in, it's pretty much like an ace in a hole in like a tight spot. It was a sex joke in there somewhere. Rune-Eyes Pendulum Dragon, it's in there optionally, and I'm going to explain why I have like more fusion monsters than I have the actual fusion materials in my main deck. Rune-Eyes Pendulum Dragon is in there because one of the ideas I had for the build was to make it not into a pendulum build, but to use Odd-Eyes Pendulum Dragon. But then again, to use a pendulum monster and not have it to where you can actually pendulum summon, I think it's kind of stupid. So one of the suggestions that if you're gonna run Odd-Eyes Pendulum Dragon, you may want to run damn Lance for Nicus or Nicus. Don't get mad at me. I don't think you guys can pronounce the name either. Lance for Nicus. As well as Performal Trump Witch. With this being a fusion focused build, Performal Trump Witch, not only is it a spellcaster that you need for some of those other support cards in the main deck, but it's also some fodder. If you're running Odd-Eyes Pendulum Dragon, then it could be fodder for getting Rune-Eyes Pendulum Dragon out, because it only needs one spellcaster type monster, which Performer Trump Witch is. But not only that, but you can tribute it to add polymerization from your deck to your hand if it's a monster. But when it's in it's in the pendulum zone, you can fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck using the materials on the field. So not only does it act as a polymerization card while it's being used as a pendulum monster, or while it's in that zone on the field, I should say. But it can also tribute itself to, get you those cards that you need to perform fusion summon. So it's a good card to have in your back pocket if you're running Odd-Eyes Pendulum Dragon in the build. And of course, both of their pendulum scales are 4. So Lance 4 Nicus, it's a dinosaur, but I couldn't find anything else. I'm even right now, I look and I cannot see anything else that could really go good in this as far as like a high scale number. Truth be told, I didn't really pay attention to what I was putting Lance 4 Nicus in there, and I thought it was a dragon. For whatever reason, I misread the type of the monster it was. But even with that being said, it's still the best suggestion that you have, because you're going to want to do some pendulum summons, and nothing right now is like level 8 or higher or anything like that. I'm looking. even right now, I mean, they have this, but you can't do anything with it because it only works for the archetype that it comes from. And it's like the highest pendulum scale that you can use or have at your disposal is level 7, so you won't be able to pendulum summon um, Dark Magician in that case. But then again, you don't need to worry about pendulum summoning Dark Magician because you have Dark Magic Curtain, which, you know, you pay half your life points, you get to special summon one Dark Magician from your deck. The only drawback is you can't like you won't be able to summon any other monsters during the turn you activate the card, but you can still set monsters, so that's something. But here's the thing about me: for people that's been watching my duels and people that have watched my tips videos and my YuGiOh101 card reviews and uh, discussion videos, you know that cards that force you to pay like half your life points, I honestly feel like those are like the worst cards to use. The only reason why I put 2 of them in there because of try and guess. Now with try and guess is that, and this is another reason why I added in like, here's the reason why you only see like 2 Dark Magician Girls in the main deck, but I have 3 Dark Magician Girl, the Dragon Knights in there, or while I only have like 2 polymerizations, or you know, and I have like 3 of these, or you know, it's the reason why I have a certain amount of cards in there. I wanted to max out how many cards I could put in my extra deck, because try and guess, it's a card that where you declare one extra deck type of card, be it a fusion card, a synchro card, or exceed, and whichever player, and both players have to reveal their extra decks, and whichever player has the most of the declared type, then they gain 3,000 life points. So it's kind of like a recovery from paying all those life points from cards like Dark Magic Curtain. So that's why I was okay with putting two of those in there. Now, Dark Renewal, it's a card that can pretty much take away any problem that your opponent tries to throw at you in terms of monsters. If they, with the exception if the monster can't be targeted by card effects or whatever, Dark Renewal is a card that can pretty much use your opponent's monster, one of your opponent's monsters and one of yours, and it can allow you to special summon one Dark Spellcaster-type monster from your deck or your graveyard. Hence, Dark Magician is in there. I have Dark Magic Attack, which is the closest thing to Harpy's Feather Duster that you're going to get. It can only work while Dark Magician is on the field, so that's the reason why I have cards that kind of cater to getting Dark Magician out more than any other card. So now we have Dark Sage. I only added one Dark Sage in there. It's just in there, you know, because I have Time Wizard in there, and of course Time Wizard, Baby Dragon, make Thousand Dragon. If you know, summon it, you can do that. But if you use Time Wizard's effect and you call it right, then you will be able to get Dark Sage out, which can, you know, granted you have a Dark Magician on the field at the same time as Time Wizard. Then once if you call the effect right, all you do is flip a coin, you call it right, you destroy all monsters, I believe. Destroy all monsters your opponent controls. If you call it wrong, you got to destroy all monsters you control. It says that, you know, when you call the effect right, immediately after doing that, you tribute your Dark Magician that you have, that you are controlling, and then you can special summon this from the hand or the deck, and then you'll be able to add one spell card. So for whatever you need, you know, just add it to your hand, you know. So that's what that is. Eternal Soul is one of the new Dark Magicians support cards, and all of your Dark Magicians, I don't know if they meant to put Dark Magician monsters. I think that would be more helpful, because putting Dark Magicians, there's no monster with Dark Magicians in their name. Yu-Gi-Oh, it's very name specific when it comes to uh, um, um, card effects. So when it says Dark Magicians, I'm not certain if they mean Dark Magician monsters or like Dark Magician Girl can be included into that, or maybe even Dark Magician Girl the Dragon Knight, because it would still be considered a Dark Magician monster if that's the case. But it's kind of like difficult to gauge what that is. But of course, I'm pretty sure there's going to be some rulings that's going to confirm what that means or whatever the case is. But if, and I do say if, because I don't know, if they meant this to be Dark Magician monsters, then that'll obviously make the card better. If not, then I guess only Dark Magician would be the one you can use it for. But it's unaffected. But Dark Magicians in your monster card zone are unaffected by your opponent's card effects. And if this face-up card leaves the field, destroy all your monsters you control. And during either player's turn, you can choose one of the following to activate this card. Resolve this effect as the chosen sentence. You can only use this effect of Eternal Soul once per turn. Either you can special summon a Dark Magician from your hand or graveyard, or add one Dark Magic attack, or 1,000 knives. Now I have Regeki in there. I did have 1,000 knives in there, but I didn't want to have like extra cards in there that I wasn't able to use in any event that I wasn't able to get a Dark Magician on the field to use it. But if you feel like you want to add it in there, then I say go for it. But I didn't feel like I needed to really have that in there. I have Regeki, I'm good. Not to mention that Dark Renewal kind of acts as a monster removal tool for those troublesome monsters that your opponent may have that can't be destroyed by battle or by card effects. Because there's often these days there's a lot of those, so it kind of acts as that as well. Magician Circle, it's just something to help you get out either Time Wizard or Dark Magician Girl. I mean, you can search out for Gemini Elf and the Illusionary Gentleman in there too. The reason why this is in there, obviously, because they're normal monsters, so they can go towards First of the Dragons, as well as you can use them with Magical Dimension, which also acts as a monster destroyer. I'm trying to see. For whatever reason, I thought La Jin, Genie of the Lamp, the Mystical Genie of the Lamp, I thought that was a Spellcaster-type monster, but it's a Fiend. I don't know where I got that mix-up from, because I really should have known better, because I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! For that long. I just haven't seen that monster in forever, so I guess I just got mixed up. But, it's a pretty fun build to use. I don't expect none of these builds that I make with these cards to be tournament worthy. That's not the goal. The goal is just to make a playable build, one that works. Then one that's just one that's fun to use. Not saying that you can't play it in a tournament. I'm just saying that's not the intention. That wasn't the focus. That wasn't what inspired me to make this. That's not what retro modernization is. So overall, and also one shot wand, it's there for like some draw power as well as an 800 attack boost if you feel like you need it, because some of these monsters will need that. It's just that I feel like you're going to be focusing on using the normal monsters for other things. For example, for like fodder for Magical Dimension, or for First of Dragons. First of the Dragons. The reason why Beast King of the Swamp, hold on. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, the reason why Beast King of the Swamps is in there is not in there. Oh, here we are here. King of the Swamp. The reason why this is not in there is because matter of fact, why isn't it in there? I don't feel like I'm really need this. I threw Fusion Substitute in there, but you may want to leave that out just for the simple fact that the monsters have to be on the field, and I think it takes away from the advantage of you being able to fusion summon from the hand. And yeah, you'll be able to banish the card from the graveyard, and you'll be able to get one card. And not only that, but you can target one fusion monster and return it to the extra deck, so you'll be able to reuse it again. But there's enough going on to where you don't really need it. So let me add another polymerization in here. So in total, the build's going to have 44 cards. Now, I couldn't really make it without that much. And if you are going to run, let me just say this: if you are going to run like Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon or like Trump Witch, obviously you want to take out either Gemini Elf or the Illusionary Gentleman. There's no benefit to having like that in there if you're going to run this. Um, Considering that the monsters are going to be like lower or like on the same scale level as that, so you won't be able to pendulum summon them. But of course, you'll still be able to get use out of them with cards like First of the Dragons, etc. If you want to keep it in there, but yeah, you also got to make room with Lance Forenicus. And if that's the case, you want to take out Luster Dragon maybe, or Gemini Elf. But the cards that you would want to keep in there are obviously Dark Magician Girl, Time Wizard, for its effects and benefits that you can obviously use with that, or Thousand Dragon and Fusion Summon it. What else? Um, no, that's pretty much like the rundown. I hope you guys didn't misunderstand like that last little bit of me saying what I was saying, but that's it, man. You got Spell Dragon. That's the reason why I call it Spell Dragon. It's using spellcasters, but the extra deck monsters are dragons, so like turning spellcasters into dragons, basically. And that's basically it, man. So that's Spell Dragon. Hope you guys try to deck out. Let me know what you think. Would you take some things out? Would you add some things in? Would you try to put the Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon in there along with Lance Forenicus and Trump Witch? If you do, let me know how that works out for you. But this is the build, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So until next time, peace, and thank you guys for watching the first episode of Retro Modernization for 2015. Until then, peace. Until next time, peace.